Yo! Yes, everybody, we are back with some more Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought it would be appropriate to take a look back at some of the best moments and highlights of the Shinjuku Showdown arc and how I was along the ride with you guys. I absolutely loved going through that arc with you guys. Were there some lows? Yeah, but I thought there were way more highs than there were lows at that point. And this arc was so fun to go along. This arc is literally how I built up the fan base that I have now for the most part. So I thought it would just be a nice way to celebrate the arc and look at some of the best moments and the funny things that happened along that arc. But yeah, anyway, here is the video. Please make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Volume warning, because y'all know I'm super loud and I get excited. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for a fantastic 2024. I have some very big ideas going into 2025, and I hope I can entertain you guys as much as I possibly can. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the video. Wait for it. Wait for it.
With the W! Woo! Oh, Maharaga fan number one, right here! Woo! Yes, sir! Oh my God! Oh my God! Hold on! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this nigga, bro! Oh! You gotta have Maharaga! Are you okay, ladies? Come on, bro! This nigga was fighting rice farmers 1,000 years ago. He's washed. Get him off the field. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Get that. Get him out. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Wow! Come on, man! Come on, man! Come on! They ain't believe in us! They had no faith in us! They said we couldn't do it! They said we couldn't do it! They said Gege didn't want us to win! But what happened? He's dead! Get out of here! Wow! Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something. If y'all ain't say that I ain't call this shit from jump, it's cause I'm like that, nigga. I'm like that. Look at your mans. He laid out. He got the Yamato special. This nigga cooked. This nigga got filleted, sliced. He got the Bakugo. Huh? This y'all go? He got the Bakugo special. Fuck you gon' do? Come on, bro. Come on, bro!
Then the narrator then begins explaining that Sukuna had a method of reviving his original body only once without using reverse curse technique, but Sukuna had intentionally halted it. What that means, I have no idea. Again, we gotta wait for official translations. Now, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what hold on, man. Hold on. Ah! There he is. Yes. Oh my God. I can't wait. Oh my God. OG Sukuna is back and the forearm form is back. And so we see that the domain that Hikari had Orame trapped in, it breaks. And well. We got Higuruma and Itadori Yuji hitting the battlefield. Woo! Oh my God. No. Check this. Now we see Yuji has some stuff on his arms. I don't know what it is. It looks like he has claws or something. I don't know. This could be a cursed tool. I'm not sure. Very much enjoy it. And so we kick off this chapter. It's not really looking good for Higuruma, bro. it's not. No, at no point is Sukuna taking any of this seriously. Like, even when Sukuna puts his hand on Yuji and like hits him with the, like, you know, not even strong cleave, but like medium cleave, and he like carves Yuji's like side up. He's not really taking him seriously because he could bisect Yuji if he wanted to. But people are like, oh, why didn't he? He just like, people gotta understand, he likes fucking with Yuji. It's fun to him. And you know, Higuruma decides to tap in, right? Higuruma decides to lock it in, right? And so after, you know, Sukuna takes off another one of his arms, Yuji fires a piercing blood. Now we don't see Yuji do this, but it's implied that Yuji did this, number one, because we have, you know, a little flashback that Choso's a bad teacher, right? And so you're thinking, oh, what could it be, the soul manipulation thing? But Choso's down for the count, presumably. If it was Choso, I'm assuming we would have seen the shot, but Yuji actually fires a piercing blood, so that's one power up Yuji already got. And we also know that Yuji can swap souls or swap bodies or something like that, which is very interesting as well. And we still haven't, so that still hasn't come into play in their fight yet. So again, very cool. Higuruma decides to go back in and try to get Sukuna, but Sukuna's like, bro, you're average at best. You're okay at best. And so he decides to carve him up, but then Yuji ends up getting behind Sukuna. Now here's the thing, I'm gonna break this down in a second. Yuji gets behind him, and Higuruma, as he's getting carved up, tosses Yuji the executioner sword, and Yuji goes to stab him. I don't know where Maya got this, and I love Maya Moro, that's my guy, you know, that's where everybody gets all their leaks from. I think he's a cool guy. Yuji doesn't actually stab him on the last picture. He's going for the motion, he's going to do it, but we don't see the actual sword pierce his skin. Click the link below for a 30-day free trial of Audible. Sukuna Nation, we are back in business. Well, actually, we never left. The doors never closed. But those who doubted us, trust me, y'all should have invested. I'm just saying. And people just for some reason had this like hate boner for Yuta out of nowhere. Oh, Yuta's a fraud. He only had a simple domain. He made his domain expansion up. He's nothing without Rika. Just all this crazy, nasty, diabolical work. And then he comes in and in one chapter does 3 times the amount of damage that Kashimo did. Yo, if you want to talk about real life frauds, you want to talk about real life fraud watch, buddy, oh my God. In one chapter, Yuta had Sukuna bleeding from his eyes, him smirking and saying, oh, this is gonna be a good one. This nigga Sukuna literally put the paws on Kashimo for like 2 minutes and then just bisected him. I don't even think it was 2 minutes. I think it was like 45 seconds total. Like, here's the thing, is that like, narratively speaking, every single person has taken something or is doing something to Sukuna to slowly break him down, right? So we have Gojo, I don't really need to explain that, but like, the Sukuna's reverse technique isn't even there. He can't use his domain expansion, all this different stuff. Then we have Kashimo, who did nothing. Now, he went to his prime Heian era form, but if anything, that's worse. Like, even Higuruma was able to take away Kamutoke. Which, like, it's Kamutoke, bro. Who cares? Like, he took away his baby rattle. I don't really give a shit. But, like, then we have Yuji, who every time he gets hit up on Sukuna, he's slowly breaking the seams from Megumi and Sukuna's soul. Bro, this chapter was Jump Kaisen at its peak, brother. They wasn't doing no domain expansions. They wasn't doing no hollow purple, none of that. But I'm talking, this is what I like. I like raw hands. I like beams and all that. It's cool. Sorcery spells and all that. It's alright. I can handle it. But you know what I like? I like paws. That's what I like. I like scrapping. Bro, you got Yuji taking Sukuna's face and just, oh, you saw him saying, taking that knee. Oh my God. And then Sukuna hits him with the, hey, come here, little bro. Let me tell you something. Right, gets his arm around his neck, hits him with the, yo, you know what's crazy? Is that in low-key, if this was anybody else, they'd be fucking dead. Like, people disrespect Yuji all day up and down, which with this chapter, that slander's done with. People slander Yuji all day up and down. If that was really anybody, if that was a Maki, if that was Hikari, they would probably be dead. But because of Yuji's physical constitution and Sukuna being slightly weaker than usual at his prime, not slightly, at half his capacity, dude, Yuji was able to tank it and heal up with reverse curse technique. Bro, I'm telling you, the Yuji agenda for being like the weakest main character in Shonen right now is done with. Finito, danno. You know what I mean? And then, bro, we just get hands being thrown. Yuta, listen, one thing you gotta respect about Yuta, right? He keeps that katana on him, he keeps that thing on him, but he ain't afraid to throw them bitches. He ain't afraid to throw some hands nowadays. You saw what I'm saying? He taking that nigga, bro, Yuta literally put his hands on Sukuna's mouth with the little belly mouth thing and ripped his tongue out because he was casting an incantation, bro. Oh, bro, I didn't even catch it when I read it. I thought that was a bone or something, which is still raw. I didn't realize Yuta literally was like boxing up his midsection and whipped out his tongue. That's crazy work. And then we get one of my favorite moments from this chapter. where Yuji literally, while he's just like getting carved up, just like, he literally takes that, he said, hey, bitch ass nigga, spits in Sukuna. Bro, listen, Yuji, I wasn't familiar with your game, my brother. My apologies. That's what I like to see, bro. That's what I like to see. After all the disrespect that Sukuna has thrown your way, called you nothing, called you an insolent brat, called you weak, and you take all that and you spit in his face and you show him what you're made of, that's what I'm talking about, bro. I'm getting hype. I'm sweating. Oh my God. We get to see that when Yuji actually gets to make contact with Megumi's soul and finds out he's alive, Megumi is completely broken. The narrator tells us that Megumi has lost the will to live. And the only thing he keeps repeating is, I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. Like, he's done. This kid has gone through so much. People gotta understand that, I swear to God, power scaling was the worst thing to hit the anime community. This is like worse than like Overwatch Rule 34 in like 2017, bro. Like, I'm talking worse than like crack being put into the black communities in the 80s. I have this notion that unless you have a feat or like you're like top 10 to top 20 in the verse, that your character sucks. You could have some literal like fish sticks that are just horrible non-characters, but they do something cool for 2 pages. Oh man, this character's golden. Big character, woo, he clears your top 5. It's like, dude, come on. This kid has gone through so much. His best friend and one of his peers are fighting to the death to free him. His sister is dead by his own hands, technically, because his body was hijacked. His teacher and mentor is now dead. And there are so many other deaths that possibly are going to be on his hands because his body was hijacked and he has no control over his actions. He's seeing all this firsthand. He was submerged in this bath or whatever for 2 months. And his soul was being plunged deeper and deeper and deeper into this darkness. So when people sit here and they try to say, oh, Megumi's a fraud and all this and he and whatever, bro, Yuji was almost in this exact same situation in Shibuya. Where's the energy for that? Where was the energy for that? Right? And Yuji still needs to have his we are the exception moment with Megumi, right? Dude, I swear to God, if Yuji lands a black flash that splits their souls apart and just says like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Koksen! And like splits their souls apart with his bare hands, bro, I will literally stream butt naked and review the chapter. I'm so serious too. Get me excited. I'm sorry. So anyway, Megumi unfortunately is just he's cooked at the moment. There's nothing that really can be done, and so Sukuna ends up tanking a Jacob's ladder. Dog, bro, listen. Let me tell you something, bro. And I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with you. My goat, throughout this entire endeavor, did not look shocked at any point. Bro, literally, Yuta and Yuji literally started piecing him up so bad, a piece of his face started peeling off, and he had that same, like, smirk on his face. He was just like, oh, damn, that's there you go, you're doing something, right? Let me tell you something. Someone's gonna die. I'm pretty sure someone's gonna die or get eaten by the end of this fight. Now, Yuta ends up getting hit with one of the world cleaves, but it's significantly smaller because Sukuna is still not operating at full capacity. And also, Yuta's regeneration is absolutely stupid. And Maki shows up and actually stabs Sukuna through the back, just like how Toji did Gojo. Now, honestly, I mean, if you didn't figure that this is going to happen, I really don't know what manga you're reading. I mean, here's the thing, is that Maki is not really the type to fight Sukuna in a one-on-one situation here, especially at his prime, because she doesn't have reverse curse technique like that. We got to give some respect to our girl Maki, because Sukuna actually acknowledges Maki in a pretty massive way here. Now, listen, we all know that Maki could not take Sukuna on a one-on-one fight. It's just not happening, partner. No matter how low her energy reserves are, it ain't gonna happen. But I respect my girl Maki for being ready for the smoke, because she literally sat outside Yuta's barrier and she got in that like sprint position, like knuckles on the ground and everything, ready to just dash in there like Usain Bolt. You saw what I'm saying? One thing about my girl Maki, man, she ain't no punk. I love it. I love it. So as Maki tries to, scrap with Sukuna a little bit, we actually see Yuji, who's like not okay. He's not really having a good time at the moment, and he starts, coughing up blood. And we actually see our big brother Choso come in and give Yuji some guidance on how to properly heal himself with reverse curse technique. Actually, I believe that this is more blood manipulation, rather than outright reverse curse technique. I believe Yuji's kind of fusing the two, or he was using blood manipulation to kind of speed up his reverse curse technique usage, or kind of just like help himself in the process, if that makes any sense, right? And I actually really like this moment because I feel like these intimate moments in JJK are so few and far between. We don't really get to see them that much, so it hits a lot harder. So we actually have Choso being a big brother to Yuji. We haven't really had that many. I mean, the last time we saw like Choso have like a big brother moment with Yuji wasn't even present because he was basically, summoning the power of the other death painting wombs. And it was a really cool moment for Choso. And then we had Yuji basically saying, hey, you can think of Choso as my big brother. But that was more of a gag, right? So pretty cool, pretty cash money. And then we have Choso saying, hey, you're healing yourself wrong. You basically stitch yourself up all haphazard. You need to let, the energy flow through you. Calm down. Imagine the roots are being sent all throughout your nervous system. Like you have like cables all throughout every part of your body. You make sure you feel every single thing. Very cool. Very interesting. Very interested to see what Yuji exactly learned in the time skip, because we're getting more flashbacks, like slowly but surely. There's a smaller flashback to like right outside Yuta's domain before it popped. So but what's interesting is actually we get to reveal that Maki can see Sukuna slashes kind of similar to how Mahoraga can. Now with Mahoraga was actually just straight up adapting, and it was able to like physically see it, while Maki, she can actually feel the effects. So for example, imagine like a strong gust of wind like is like heading your way. You can feel that wind, right? But what if there's like a jet that you didn't see going that fast, but you still felt the wind, right? Maki can basically feel the shift in air pressure that's going around these slashes, or the shift in the actual space itself, which is really cool because it's actually seeded in her awakening with Noya. With Noya's fight, we had her little simple domain training session with the sumo guy, I forget what his name is, and when she comes out, she has a different worldview and she has a different comprehension of how to fight. She can feel these changes in air pressure and temperature and all these different things. Like imagine each hair on your body activated and you feel every single thing times 2. Like even the clothes on your body. You know how like we subconsciously ignore our clothes being on our body? I mean, it probably just freaked you out that I told you this, but when we sit down, we think about it, it's kind of uncomfortable, isn't it? So just imagine feeling that all the time. Kind of similar to Daredevil, actually. Hey, I want y'all to be 100% serious with me. How many of y'all caught that Sukuna actually started whispering the chants for the world slash in all the rubble falling? Dude, that's actually really creative. My goat's battle IQ is off the charts. Let's go! Rame and Hakari are kind of talking shit, and Hakari's like, hey man, we're gonna win, bro. And Rame is like, nah, no you're not. Now everybody can pretty much feel Sukuna's presence and feel his energy from however far away they are. And Arame is like, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, the reason his power is so low is because he doesn't respect you people, which I don't necessarily think that part's true. I think that's just a Rame, obviously being a being a bigger, Sukuna gobbler than I am. But what I think is true, what we all know to be true, I don't think it's a think, I think it's a no, is that Sukuna has yet to go all out. But we knew this already. I think I literally just said this on my last video. We still have we still have a possibly malevolent shrine in his back pocket. I mean, like, obviously, when that comes back, it's over for everybody. Click the link below for a 30-day free trial of Audible. Sukuna Nation! Wagwan. But we gotta get back to these goat talks real quick. We go from Sukuna talking about how, number one, how he basically he's like, everybody else I fought to this point, I don't really care about. But this, the one who actually threw it all away, let's see. Is it physical prowess or jujutsu that wins at the end of the day? I'm curious. I want to see something. And Sukuna hits Maki with a Kokusen. Oh my god. Oh my god. Joe, and then we get this panel of Sukuna looking like Asura from Asura's Wrath, bro, with the super harsh shadows, the fist still streaking with the black flash. Oh my god, Gege treated me well this week. If you want to talk about hashtag real villainy, if you want to talk about hashtag real goat status, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. This is the shit I like to see. You want to know how you make a villain? You make them get things done, bro. This is why I don't respect All For One. This is why I barely respect Shigaraki. I mean, I like Makima. I do. But this is why I really don't respect Innocent Zero, because, bro, I'm telling you, this is the stuff I'm talking about. And let me tell you something right now, is a lot of these Gojo stands hate on my goat Sukuna, because even last chapter they were like, oh my god, dude, Sukuna, he's making his heart beat with curse energy. I'm telling you, like I said last video, if Gojo were to do this, people will be jumping up and down, peeing themselves. Oh my god, Gojo's the goat, I can't believe he did this. Listen, the hate is unwarranted. There is no place for it. Do you realize how scary it is that Sukuna was so locked in on fighting Maki that he hit a black flash on her, but he didn't hit a black flash on Gojo? Does that tell you how disinterested he was, generally speaking, throughout that fight? I'm not saying he was bored, but bro, like Gojo hit a black flash like what, 3-4 times throughout his fight with Mahoraga, Agito, and Sukuna. Sukuna didn't hit one time. And Sukuna is at currently 120% of his potential, and it's interesting because Maki does say at one point that he's not healing his wounds, so maybe it's some damage from the Dragon Bone Blade or the Soul Spin Katana. I don't know, but man, this is just crazy, dog. So next week, or I'm sorry, not next week, because Gege is a domestic terrorist. We have Kusakabe versus Sukuna. Now, do I think this Kusakabe is going to do a whole lot to Sukuna? I have no idea, because like I said, dude, if Kusakabe can straight up parry a Uzumaki, who's to say Kusakabe can't parry a Kusakabe actually has his intuition freak out here, and he notices that Sukuna is about to expand the range of his curse technique to perform the world slash, and so he actually extends the range of his simple domain, and Sukuna's actually pretty shocked by this. Bro, we have this fucking goofy ass panel of Gojo giving a gawk to this ice cream dog. Is anybody outside today? And listen, hold on. And then we actually have Kusakabe hitting this nigga Sukuna with the Samurai Jack special. You saw what I'm saying? Hold on, Kusakabe. My bad, brother. I was familiar with your game. Now, like, do I think that these slashes were gonna do anything significant? I mean, honestly, no, not really, but it looks cool, right? And Kusakabe is actually given a decent effort and a decent showing here. Kusakabe's sword breaks. And you know what my nigga Kusakabe did? He said, man, fuck all this sword fighting, fuck all this Sekiro shit. Yeah, what's good, nigga? What's good with them hands? Yeah! You saw what I'm saying? Kicks his nigga Sukuna in his chest. Yeah! Bro, what? Oh shit, boy. And then, this nigga Kusakabe was really squabbling with Sukuna. Yo, hey. I'm gonna need a round of applause for my boy over here, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is real jujutsu sorcery. This is real sorcery fight, nigga. This is what the fuck I'm talking about, bro. Oh my god, y'all know me. I love saying it. I enjoy beam clashes. I enjoy techniques. But what I like putting the hands on the nigga. That's what I like to see. And then we actually have the other grade ones, and Gojo saying that Kusakabe's biggest strength is that he's super kind. And Kusakabe ends up, hitting that I alone in the honor one pose, and actually really good paneling here. I actually kind of like how Kusakabe is kind of bursting out of it, kind of showing that he's larger than life at this moment. And Uiui attempts to come and rescue Kusakabe and take him off the front line. And this nigga Sukuna shows up like the Undertaker. Like, that meme with the Undertaker where he's behind, buddy, and he's just staring at him. And Sukuna's like, you're pretty annoying, right? And Ui's about to get snatched up before... Bro, listen, this is probably the worst I've ever gotten stun locked in Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, bro, I turned the page to see Negroes? Bro, what the fuck is Miguel doing? Click the link below for a 30-day free trial of Audible. Yo! Yes. Welcome all. We are back with some more Melanin Kaisen. Cool, buddy. Agenda Kaisen about to go crazy. We have Sukuna sending slashes Miguel's way, and Miguel starts fucking breakdancing on him like this shit was Step Up. Bro, this nigga Miguel starts hitting Sukuna with the You Got Served special. Bro, he literally starts bob ducking and weaving all these slashes that are coming towards him. And Sukuna's not even mad, he's just smiling. He's like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. Sukuna even thinks that Lauray's curse technique is boring, which I mean, let's be honest, it really fucking is. I mean, who cares? But Miguel's curse technique is actually pretty cool. His curse technique is called Hakuna Lana. Now, this curse technique allows Miguel's body to catch a rhythm to dodge and enhance his physical abilities. So, kind of like Tengen from Demon Slayer, where he started like hearing the rhythm of an opponent's slashes so he can kind of follow the music. I actually like this, and then we get this really cool panel of Miguel hitting that. Yeah, and then hey, listen, y'all know what we get back to. We get back to my favorite thing. Y'all know what I'm saying. But hey, beam clashes, they techniques, they You know when Miguel comes in, he comes in, he hits Sukuna with a hey bitch ass nigga. Yeah! But anyway, Choso comes in, does a little thing, does a little light supernova, you know what I mean? And then we have Yuji Itadori coming in and hitting Sukuna with a grand slam. Yeah! You saw what I'm saying? Just like the two fists on that nigga. Yeah! Now it's actually pretty interesting here because Sukuna, he gets into the position, he cheats up for a second. You saw what I'm saying? He getting that squat real quick because Yuji is a tank. Like Yuji, I don't know how heavy Yuji is, but like Yuji must have hit him hard as all fuck because Sukuna's like, oh shit, like just for a second he had to like kind of adjust the position. You did what I'm saying? Like buddy, like ankles came off the ground and everything. Like god damn, no, he about to power clean this nigga, bro. And so this is actually really fucking cool. So I thought that this was just like a thing that was like anime exclusive for season 2. So Mahito, when he was fighting Yuji, right before Yuji hit him with that black flash that actually ended their fight. In the anime, you have this shot of Yuji winding up his fist. He's just completely blacked out, and you see like the black flash starting to like foam around his fist while he's winding up. I don't believe that was in the manga. Gege actually, I believe, is paying homage to the anime yet again, because we see that Yuji is starting to actually focus up, and Sukuna can actually sense that Yuji is about to get the black flash once again. Kind of like in One Punch Man, where like I believe it was Genos when they were training, or when he was training against Saitama, and Saitama came behind him and he had that fist behind him with the death kanji on it. Like he could just sense that, oh shit. I wouldn't say necessarily like a spider sense, but more like a sixth sense telling him, oh, this kid's on fire right now. And actually, I'm pleasantly surprised here because Sukuna, while yes, looking a little annoyed and just kind of like, dude, this fucking kid, I'm so tired of you. Like he knows that Yuji is not gonna stop coming at him unless Yuji is dead on the floor, which again is why Yuji is one of my favorite protagonists just in general. Listen, y'all know me, I slander Invincible every single chance I get because I like, dude, if I gotta wait fucking 3-4 seasons for you to get a W, I don't really care. I don't really care. I mean, it's fine. I'm mostly caught up on the comics at this point, but it's just, but anyway, Sukuna actually has his gaze diverted from Yuji forcefully by Laure, and Laure says that his curse technique not only makes him grab a physical body, but if he has previously grabbed a hold of somebody, he can grab their hearts or their consciousness as well, and he is obviously using a ton of effort here. Bro, that is actually really cool. I actually really dig that application. Dude, Laure went from, oh, this dude's ass, this dude's fodder, why are you here, to hold on. This might he might be essential. You did what I'm saying. And buddy, my man Yuji Itadori hits Sukuna with a 1-page black flash. Man, not the black flash. He hits Sukuna with the Kosen. You saw what I'm saying? Oh, that made my ears ring. Yes. Yes, buddy. The narrator, very next page, says that by unlocking his potential through the black flash, amidst the scattering black sparks, Itadori Yuji awakens. That's what the fuck I'm talking about, man. And Sukuna drops the lore reveal that he actually ate his twin brother when he was inside of his mother's womb as to not starve to death. And that dead twin soul ended up in Kenjaku's hand, which led to the creation of Yuji Itadori. Now, for those that know, there have been several theories floating around in the Jujutsu Kaisen space where people were saying that, oh, Sukuna might have ate his brother in the womb and Yuji could have been his descendant, and that actually ended up being true. But there is one piece of the puzzle that I still think that we're missing here. Why why does Yuji's grandfather still look so similar to Sukuna? There's still something there's something missing there, right? Because we have that panel, I posted it before, where people take comparison of Sukuna, Yuji, and Yuji's grandfather, and they look like they're at different stages in life. Yuji looks like a young teenager. Sukuna looks like he is in like mid 30s to early-ish 40s, and then we have Wasuke, I believe is his name, is Yuji's grandfather's name. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering everywhere. This is fresh information, hot off the press. And then we have Yuji's grandfather, who looks like a older version, and so it looks like it's someone's complete life stage. So where does Yuji's grandfather fall into all this? I'm very curious, because he still has the grayish hair. I don't know if it's pink as well. I need to double check that. So then we have obviously Sukuna and Yuji squaring up in that brave pose one more time. Y'all know I love that. You know what I mean? I love when Jujutsu Kaisen characters square off. This is one of my favorite things about the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. When it comes to the fights and the choreography, I love Gege's work here, because when we directly compare it to My Hero Academia, each action in My Hero Academia has a monologue or a speech attached to it, and that's perfectly fine. That's how that manga works. But as far as the actual choreography in My Hero Academia goes, it's not all that great compared to Jujutsu Kaisen. So we have instances like this where we very clearly see the hands being thrown. It's very clear. I like that. I love it, right? And so then we have Yuji hitting his second Black Flash on Sukuna here. And Yuji diverts one of Sukuna's hands. Boom! A third Black Flash on Sukuna here. Man. Buddy, there's a lot of action in this chapter, but we got some stuff to still talk about. No, don't worry. We'll get there. And as Yuji ends up getting pushed back onto a pillar, he slices it and sends it towards Sukuna, and the narrator explains that Yuji currently has two cursed techniques inside of him. He has blood manipulation and Sukuna's Mizushi, or shrine. So at the moment, Yuji now has, I believe, cleave. I don't think he has dismantle. I believe he has cleave, because from what we see, Yuji's not sending out slashes. He has to physically grab the object to be able to do it, because he's still so fresh. He's still so new at it. So, people have been spamming this for the past hour, however long, but Gojo said, I believe around chapter 3 to chapter 4, that Yuji would be able to gain Sukuna's techniques as they will be carved into his body. But I don't think that no one knew that it was going to be to this effect. It's interesting here because we actually get this little outline. It looks like scissors being cut, kind of like a copy and paste tool. And we can see that for Yuji, this is how he visualizes his technique. I don't think this is just a thing for the reader. I believe that this is actually happening in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen as well. So very cool. Very, very, very cool. Lots to discuss here, man. We'll get to it, but I want to clear this action first. So then we have Yuji trying to get a hold of Sukuna's leg, and unfortunately Sukuna ends up shaking him off, but Yuji manages to gain his footing back and hits him with yet another, I can't yell because I have guests in my house, with another Black Flash. Now Sukuna at this point realizes that yes, while Yuji does have his same technique, there's some differences due to the era of Sukuna having much more experience with it, and then there's representation. So Sukuna's looks different as opposed to Yuji's, which is why Yuji has like the little scissors in the paper. It's still it's almost childlike, right? And Sukuna even thinks that, oh, this is absolutely ludicrous, this is ridiculous, but the output is so low because Yuji is still not used to it. And we got a small little flashback from Ino as well, talking about how he is he okay to use Nanami's weapon, and he asks Gojo and Shoko if it's all right, and they're like, oh man, you're good, he trusts you more than anybody. And my boy, listen, the Shiesty sorcerer, you put in some work. Listen, your boy, listen. I gotta give this man Ino props because he knows the role that he is in, and he's not trying to be like on the front line and trying to do a whole bunch of extra stuff, but he's slowly trying to help with the breakdown of Sukuna, right? And so he's getting in, getting a couple hits in, getting out, getting in. He's very much playing a support role. Any gaps or any weaknesses that he can find or anything to buy some people some more time, he's using that to his advantage, and his reverse curse technique is coming in clutch for himself as well. And so we actually see Ino summon the dragon, which we have not seen before. That's apparently his strongest summon that he has, but unfortunately Sukuna does away with it pretty quickly. But then Yuji gets behind him and hits him with the, come on bro, he hits him with another black flash, and Sukuna actually starts getting like, he starts getting pressed, right? And Sukuna's like, bro, like this is getting out of hand, right? And so then he starts like box with Yuji for just a second here, right? And then Yuji's monstrous strength is still just keeping up, and Yuji ends up slamming him into the wall once again. Oh my God, bro, Yuji hits another black flat. Bro, I wish I could yell. I wish I could scream, because I need y'all to understand how hype I am. I have been on the Yuji Itadori train for the past 3.5 years since I've been reading / watching Jujutsu Kaisen. So when I finally see my nephew get the flowers he deserves, and he finally starts to earn that MC status to everyone that doubted him, when we start having those apology forms getting filled out, this is what I live for, bro. This is what I adore. I don't care that not a lot of people think that Jujutsu Kaisen's all that deep, but to an extent it's not. But I know people think the power system sucks and all this different stuff. I love this series unabashedly. I don't care. You can argue with the wall. I do not care. And then we actually have a really cool panel where Sukuna actually tries to grab Yuji's face, and half of his face is cut up, and he's still going towards Sukuna, which is kind of a mirror, because we have that half of Yuji's face is disfigured from all the blood and everything like that. And then the next panel is Sukuna's face, where we have, half of the eyes and all that. Very cool. Very, very cool parallel. They look very similar here. And Yuji hits Sukuna with Sukuna gets hit with another black flash from Yuji here, and Sukuna actually gets pressed. He starts hitting the enemy. He starts hitting that cell. He starts screaming, just at Yuji, just you know what I mean. He starts screaming at Yuji, and actually his focus is thrown off from Yuji by Ino throwing Nanami's cleave at him, and Yuji takes his hand, brings it from the pits of Tartarus, and Beelzebub's palace hits him with the Kokusang, just right up in that gut. Just oh my God, bro, y'all need to understand how hype I am, bro. Bro, I have been itching for a chapter like this. Click the link below for a 30-day free trial of Audible. Sukuna Nation! Wagwan. Once again, Wagwan. Instantaneously, Sukuna pops a domain expansion. Now,
once you could do so, you
So what Kusakabe plans to do is he plans to drill these basic curse energy techniques into his Yuji's, basically his mind and his soul from Kusakabe's body. So okay, so Kusakabe's body knows it like muscle memory, right? So for example, if I were to switch with a professional basketball player, right? Say I switch with I mind switch with, I don't know, Stephen Curry or Russell Westbrook, right? And so they're just shooting threes like crazy. I'm in their body. I know how to shoot a three, right? When I go to my own body, I'm going to try, and it's going to be a little easier for my mind to know how to shoot those threes better. Very, very interesting application. I like that. Gege is in his bag here. Also, by the way, Gege is absolutely fantastic in this chapter as far as art goes. Oh, yes. And so we have my man Yuji Itadori using new shadow style, simple domain. Ooh, we'll give it chills just saying it. You know what I mean? Oh, bro, he looks so cold in this panel, dog. Finally, some protagonist activities. That's what I like to see. Listen, y'all gotta give Gege one thing. He is not predictable by any means. That is one thing I love about Jujutsu Kaisen, but sometimes I gotta see my shonen tropes, man. I gotta see my hero stand up in the face of adversity, man. This panel right here, where Yuji's standing up or, crouching down using simple domain, it reminds me of All Might when he's fighting All For One, and he's like, do your worst villain or whatever he says. I'm so hyped, dog. There's so much good stuff in this chapter. Yuji's simple domain actually breaks here, and unfortunately Yuji loses his left leg. That sucks. That stings. It's gonna hurt, right? But we still have reverse curse technique in our bag. We still have these basics that we got. We still got them, right? We're not down and out yet. Now I'm hoping this doesn't pull up my hero when Yuji doesn't get his leg or get his legs back next time we see him. I would 2 times in a row in 2 different shonens. I would actually be really just like making me just like my sphincter just like burn. But yo, actually, as I'm editing this video, when Yuji gets his left leg sliced off, he actually reattaches it to his main body, just like how Choso, when he was fighting Kenjaku and he extended his arm out with the blood and took it back. Yo, y'all see my MC out here? Y'all see my man out here? Then we have Yuji looking at Sukuna, unfazed that his leg got cut, by the way. Right, still locked in. He looks up in horror to see Sukuna 2 hands forward on his right side. Yes, the flames have been brought out. We haven't seen these since Shibuya. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, so not a whole lot of lore bits as opposed to last chapter here, but man, oh man, how are we gonna get out of this one? I have absolutely no idea. We have a magnificent and, dare I say, downright sexy page of my king, Ryomen Sukuna, where we get the explanation that only by going through the quote-unquote cooking process of dismantle and cleave that the Kamino door will be open. It lacks the speed relative to its fire and has a narrow effect range. To me, if Sukuna needs to do something like this, I think it's literally the force of a nuke. Because if you split an atom, you know what I mean? If you split an atom like directly in half or split an atom by however, that's how you get an atomic bomb, right? And so we actually see Hikari, that filthy domain merchant, and Urame look at Sukuna's fire, and we understand that because of the intense pressure, that leads to the death of living beings inside the domain. Now, I don't necessarily think it's the domain. I also think it's just the nature of the effect, because Sukuna used this arrow on Jogo and he didn't have his domain active. And then, oh man, then before the flames can hit Yuji, Choso actually sacrifices himself and makes a barrier of blood around him to protect Yuji. And Choso apologizes, saying that he is sorry for being useless during their training. And then Choso and Yuji are actually in their imaginary soul world, where Choso actually, you know, had dinner or that little picnic with all their other brothers. And Choso compliments Yuji for learning reverse curse technique faster than he himself did. Now Yuji says that it's actually Sukuna because Sukuna's body did it first, but Choso says that it's okay. It's only natural for little brothers to surpass their big brothers. And then Yuji actually tells Choso, no, you can't just leave. You can't just leave me. And Choso says, right, I need to apologize to Tsukimo too, referring to Yuki. And then Yuji says, you were always by my side whenever times were toughest. That's more than enough. Oh man, this page right here, man, I ain't gonna lie. Your boy should have thugged here. I ain't gonna lie. Your boy should have thugged here. We have Choso in the vial, the other cursed wounds, talking to his brothers through the glass. And Kechizu says, brother, I'm cold. Iso asks if he's still there. Choso says, it's okay. Let's still talk. If we talk together, we'll forget about the cold. Then Yuji says, thank you, Aniki, or big brother. And Choso's charred corpse begins to finally fall to the ground. This is, man. I listen. Choso quickly became one of my personal favorite characters in JJK. It really sucks. And we had that fantastic moment with Choso when he is fighting Kenjaku and he has the death painting wombs behind him and he feels their strength and he says, you know what? I got this, and he charges forward at him. And then even with Yuji, he hasn't known Yuji that long in the grand scheme of things, but his love for him is all the same. I think that this is one of the best executed deaths in Jujutsu Kaisen, arguably the best executed death in my opinion. I feel like we had ample time with Choso. I feel like we had a good showing into his relationship with Yuji. I feel like we knew what his goals and what his mindset were. I feel like we had a very good attachment to hold on Choso, so I feel like it's very effective. This sucks, man. It really does. Boy went out, man. He went out. Let me get an F in the chat for Choso, please. And so when the flames start to cool down, Yuji looks around him and Yuji asks, guys, someone. Yuji is now alone on the battlefield. And we have the narrator saying that Yuji convinced himself he was a cog. No matter what happened, he was meant to fulfill his role. But as the scorched earth's heat begins to push his way, it shook the foundation of his resolve. The resolve to repay his brother who had sacrificed his life to protect him. And just as all hope is looking down for our protagonist, Yuji Itadori, we got Big Gorilla! Aoi Todo is back in the field. Oh my God. With a fantastic double page spread with him and Sukuna staring down each other. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. People been asking where my ghost at, man. Listen, Gege told y'all. Todo is the type to show up when it is necessary. He's basically Kenpachi, right? Basically Kenpachi from Bleach. Y'all need him, he's gonna be there, basically. Now, listen, y'all know me, and y'all know me, I'm keeping it a buck with y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like the fact that Todo has not had that much screen time in the Coin games. He's had none. Yo, this first page is just absolutely fucking goofy, dude. I love it. Listen. We have my man Todo unwrapping the bandages around his left hand, and he pulls out a whole thingamabob to use on my man Sukuna. Bro, what is this? Yo, this man Todo pulled out a vibra slap. Yo, hold on. I'm gonna play you a clip of real quick of what this sounds like. Bro, this Looney Tunes ass. Yo, I don't care what anybody says. I love Gege. I love this manga, dude. There's one thing about this manga is that it is not predictable by any means. Oh my God. People thought that Todo was going to have Garuda wrapped around his hand. People thought a whole bunch of stuff. Nah, bro. The first page we see is this foolishness. And then we actually have Sukuna make a comment on Todo himself. He says that Todo is the most self-centered and difficult to sway. He honestly appeared at the timing I least wanted him to show up. So Sukuna knows just how annoying Todo is to fight, because the thing is, if you're experienced and you have a very tactical mind, as basic as Boogie Woogie is, the more you think about it, the more it's going to trip you up. We have this cool little tidbit here where actually Yuji ends up throwing a stone and Todo actually switches it out to Yuji being in place of the stone, actually, which is very similar to what the anime did with its original scene where Todo was hitting the Black Flash. He was like going throughout the universe like, oh my, you know what I mean? So I think it's very cool that Gege is taking inspiration from the anime. There's a lot of really great scenes that happen in the anime. So I'm glad Gege is actually paying attention. Like, for example, you have that shot of Sukuna launching the slashes at Yuta and Yuji. And it's almost the exact same pose and position to where he launched the slashes at Mahoraga in the anime. And so Sukuna actually, just as we go along with this, is thinking about how frustrating it is to fight against Todo, because Sukuna realizes that Todo can change the maximum and minimum values for the number of swaps per single tap. So basically every time the vibra slap goes down, he can change how many times that he can switch. It's not exact with the amount of collisions that the metal has with the wood. Pause. And Sukuna actually momentarily thinks that it is almost impossible to get used to Boogie Woogie, kind of similar to how Hanami thought in season 1. But then Sukuna actually gains an idea, and he thinks that it's when Yuji's focus has peaked, kind of like where his eyes start to like kind of go similar to Sukuna's, and Sukuna thinks that Todo might faint by not swapping Yuji with something else to trick his opponents. So Sukuna moves to go and land a possible Black Flash on Yuji and take him out. But then Sukuna notices one of Mei's crows appearing behind him. Shout out to Jujutsu Tech's #1 pedophile for actually doing something in this fight worth the damn. So I mean, good job, I guess. And so Sukuna goes to land an attack, land a swift kick on the crow, thinking that it might be Yuji or Todo, but he actually got hit with the Mahito special, bruh. Dog, it's crazy. Sukuna has seen this 2 different instances. He has seen Hanami get hit by this, and he's also seen Mahito get hit by this. But that's the thing. When you start thinking about this technique like that, it's going to trip you up more and more and more. And so Yuji hits one more. Come on. Say it with me. Say it with me now. All right, I'll give you a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. On Sukuna, and then Yuji actually ends up just going completely feral and puts his hand just right up in Sukuna's gut and just starts like Wolverine, just starts like getting in his gut, dude. Oh my God. This is gonna be so wrong when it's animated. Yuji literally screaming out that he's gonna kill Sukuna and just start scraping away at his innards. And then, ladies and gentlemen, lo and behold, probably the reason why you're clicking on this video, I got the worst jump scare imaginable. We have Sukuna about to use a domain expansion for the 2nd time. Sukuna looks to his left, and you know what he sees? Sukuna sees an apparition of the strongest that he buried with his own 2 hands appear right in front of him. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, oh, buddy. Oh, God. What is happening? The chapter begins with Yuji deciding that he will now crush Sukuna's heart Mortal Kombat style. He all up in that sternum just, you saw him say, going absolutely feral on this man. And as soon as Sukuna utters the words, Ryuga Tenkai, as soon as those words leave his lips, he thinks to himself, no, Bakada. You saw him say, Bakada. And he looks and we see Gojo Satoru in the flesh. But when the wind moves his hair, we see the stitches of a very familiar Krang-looking figure. You saw what I'm saying? Now, when this image first leaked, everybody, including myself, was clapped. Everybody thought this was Kenjaku. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I really still don't think the Kenjaku's dead. I'm gonna leave that for a separate video. I still hold out some hope for my goat Kenny. But everybody, including me, was thinking that this is Kenjaku and he was joining the fight maybe to take Sukuna out, maybe to go against Jujutsu Tech. People did not know what was going on here. People thought that Geto or Kenjaku hijacked Gojo's body. But Sukuna looks, he sees, and he says, oh, I apologize, man. I wasn't familiar with your game. I didn't know you were capable of going that far. Yuta Okotsu. Brother, I saw literally not a single leak. I was scrolling through Reddit, I was scrolling through Twitter, I was scrolling through X videos looking for leaks. Bro, nobody was saying that Yuta could have copied Kenjaku's technique. People thought that Kenjaku was just dead. Everything that was involved with Kenjaku, people thought was dead, done, and finished. But no, Yuta, my man, Yuta Okotsu, big brain. He said, you know what? We need an insurance policy, my boy. What actually ended up happening was that Rika actually ended up eating Kenjaku's remains, which is fucking disgusting. Like she literally like started gnawing on it like Resident Evil style. Everyone's pretty much under the assumption that this is kind of weird. It's weird. And Kusakabe actually ends up saying that this is actually inhumane. And for all intents and purposes, he's completely right. Like puppeteering a dead person's body and actually using their techniques and all that, it's morbid, it's grotesque. This is not something that the good guys should be doing. This is a corpse that they're parading around, like Weekend at Bernie style. But Yuta actually goes on and he says, why are we afraid to become monsters? We're having Gojo become monsters for us. Why can't we do the same thing? Is he not important? This is actually a very, I love me some character development, man. I love this moment for Yuta, man. Yuta typically is a gloomy kid, right? Now we always see that Yuta gets angry on behalf of others, but him actually speaking his mind here is actually really cool, because I don't remember seeing Yuta actually speak out in anger or in protest against something like this, especially to people that he calls his allies. He's always typically soft-spoken, he's very nice, but even when Kishimo started testing him, he was about to put some belt to ass real quick, he still kind of looked at Kishimo like, you really wilding now, you know what I'm saying? Really wilding now, but he still didn't crash out. You know what I mean? He still kept his composure. So seeing Yuta actually show his love and affection for his mentor, that's really cool. Really cool. I really like that moment here. And so we have Yuta telling Gojo that, yes, I will be taking your body if you die. Are you okay with that? And Gojo's like, what for? I don't plan on dying. So this kind of throws some stuff out the way, because a lot of people thought that Gojo thought he was going to die, but no. Gojo was like, all right. No, he's like, Gojo was like, nah, bro, I'm gonna win this. He was dead ass when he said, I'd win. And with this, we have a straight up just Avengers style pose with Yuji, Todo, and Yuta in Gojo's body, of course, going after Sukuna, with Todo saying that Yuta needs to keep up the hollow purples, lay on the pressure, and that don't worry about any crossfire, because he and Yuji can just switch out of the way immediately. Bro, we get the funniest page turn in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. Holy. This is funnier than when Kenjaku broke me with a sword. Bro, Yuta's body just falls to the ground. He just falls to the ground, and unfortunately, he used so much curse energy that Kenjaku's technique ran out. So it actually ended up running out before the 5 minutes was up. Dude, you know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of Ultra Ego Vegeta. Listen, I've been dogging on that form for like, what, 3 years at this point? That form sucks. That form blows. Bro. Oh my god, bro, listen, I've been defending Yuta from all this slander for the past like 2-3 months. I can't defend this, bro. That's crazy. And there were actually a lot of people that I have been seeing recently. They're like, oh, what's the point of Yuta going into Gojo's body? We'll get there. We'll save it for the end discussion. But with this, Sukuna actually ends up landing a... Man, y'all already know what I'm about to say, man. Hold on. Turn me up in the headphones, man. Turn me up in the headphones. You know what my Ghost Sukuna says? He pull up on Todo, look at Yuta. He said, hold on, bitch ass nigga. And unfortunately sends my Yuta Todo flying back. But my man Todo is not done. Ends up switching with Yuji. Bro, before I even continue with this, bro, Yuji puts on an absolute masterclass in this show, man. Yuji is still... Yuji? Who the fuck is that? Yuji still has plenty of gas in the tank, and he is still in the midst of his awakening. Todo actually reveals that the shards of Yuta's domain are able to be switched with him and Yuji, and they're basically kind of like fiberglass, just all around the area that they're fighting in. So it has Todo basically an unlimited amount of switches to work with. And then we get this fantastic shot. It looks like Yuji's just straight up using, like, you know, Kagebunshi no Jutsu. It looks like he's using like the after image technique from Dragon Ball, dude. And oh man, dude, Gege's art in the past like 20 chapters, dude. Gege's art looks absolutely phenomenal. I know people are trying to rag on Gege and say that his art fell off. It never really did, to be honest with you. He just started using a lot harsher shapes and angles. Now, granted, also you have like things like Nambara just looking totally different, and me and you may agree that he just forgot how to draw her, and sometimes Gojo looks like a frog in certain angles, but I actually do think it works. And so Yuji ends up putting Sukuna in the blender, man. I have no idea when I'm doing this accent. But anyway, Sukuna actually ends up getting hit by Yuji, who hits him with the dismantle on the border of his and Megumi's soul. Oh my good gravy. Oh my god. Y'all see my son, bro? Listen, y'all know me. #1 Sukuna Glazer, #1 on the internet. My title is undisputed at this point, and it pains me to see my goat in trouble, but I don't think he's done yet. We'll get there. We'll get there. But dude, Yuji, come on, man. I'll be telling y'all, he's one of the best new MCs, bro. He says, listen, I'll do it as many times as it takes. Megumi, wake up!
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
And Sukuna is actually stunned, bro. Look, oh my god. Bro, look how big Sukuna's eye gets. Holy shit. Oh, bro, it's like a Looney Tunes character, bro. Bro was flabbergasted. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in for me. Sukuna has a shocked expression momentarily after saying that Yuji is no longer a threat to his life. We get a flashback to chapter 15, where Gojo explains it expends a ton of curse energy, but it has its merits. First off, you get a stat boost due to the change in environment, sort of like a buff in video games. Also, curse techniques imbued within a domain are guaranteed to hit. Yuji Itadori cast Ryukyu Tenkai domain expansion. Woo! Come on, bro. Y'all see my son out here, man. I've been told y'all he's the best new gen MC, but we had to get this out the mud, pull this out the dirt. We had to go through trials and tribulations for this. I've been waiting on Yuji to get domain expansion, bro. I've been waiting. It's not like Yuji's the chosen one or anything like that. Everything that Yuji has done has been from his own grit and pulled from his own teeth. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Oh my god. They said Gege was. Gege can't write. Peep game real quick. Yeah, this ain't in the end of the chapter, bro. Peep game real quick. Through switch training with Atsuya Kusakabe, Yuji Itadori learned the fundamentals of barrier techniques. Sukuna wakes up. What is this? This nigga Sukuna woke up in the airport. This man, yo, Yuji gave Mago Sukuna a free VIP express trip to Brazil. Yo, Guiezao, yo, help this man out. Pick this man. He about to get snatched by the cartel, bro. It's over. It's wraps. We done. Everybody go home. I mean, oh my God. Oh my God. And Sukuna, in his Yuji form, looks and sees Yuji, and Yuji says, come on, Sukuna, let's go. Boy, what the fuck is this chapter? The narrator explains this decisive one-on-one heads into an uncharted domain. So, Yuji's domain is unnamed at this time, but obviously he's still using the Malevolent Shrine hand signs. So as far as what Yuji's domain does, I have absolutely no idea. That's just for such funny because Yuji actually ended up adapting that very mentality. But Yuji goes on to say on page 12, up until recently, I thought I should simply live to fulfill my role as I understood it. I thought if I died like that, I could at least consider it a proper death. But now, I feel like that's not entirely right. Your role can be really anything like walking a dog or to nurture your family. Even without such things, whether you just eat, take a shit, and sleep, or you're bedridden with illness, with your life not connecting with anyone and leaving nothing behind. Just the tiny fragments of memories that make up a person drifting elsewhere give value to a human life. Essentially what Yuji's saying here is that for a person's death is not their actual death that matters, but the memories but the positive memories and positive feelings that are associated with that person are the most important things. And I do think that is true, and it helps a lot of people, certainly with grief. For a lot of people, including myself, when it comes to grief, it is very helpful to think about all the positive memories that you had with a person rather than dwelling on, oh, how did they die, were they suffering, or anything like that, or I won't be able to see them again. It's taking the fact that the time that you did have with them was truly a blessing, and that is something that you can never take away. It really ties into what Todo says to Yuji as well, is that like these people won't die until their memories are forgotten, so it's up to you to keep them going. It ends what he's saying. And also we get confirmation that Nobara is like dead. Like the Gege is hilarious, dude. Gege is, there is no way that Gege does not look at leaks and chapter discussions, because people have been coping for like months and months and months that Nobara's gonna come back, Nobara's gonna come back, but Yuji just like outright just said it right here. And also we're encountering that thing again where for some reason Gege just does not remember how to draw Nobara. I don't know why. Also, Gojo looks like a lizard here for a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like the angle of how he's looking down, but he just looks like Mark Zuckerberg to me. And Yuji goes to tell Sukuna to his face, I couldn't ever forgive anyone who acted as if that value didn't exist. Sukuna, I loathe you. And we get a small flashback of Mahito as well. Good to see Mahito. We haven't seen Mahito since, I believe, chapter 135 or 136. I like it. I actually like how it looks in Gege's new style. People aren't tools. We aren't born with any set role. I have no clue whether humans are fundamentally good or evil. Maybe I'm in the wrong. So I thought I should at least let you see the humanity of someone other than yourself, of someone you see no value in. And Sukuna says, I don't feel a thing. Sukuna says, I understand everything you're saying, Brett, and yet I feel absolutely nothing. Just as you felt when you saw how quiet this town became. You had expected it. So what? And then Yuji takes more of a dark tone, and more of a sad tone. And he says, no dice, huh? That's what I figured. Sukuna says, suffice to say, I'm dumbfounded by just how cowardly you're being. Your rage towards me, your hatred, is this all it amounted to? And then Sukuna widens his eyes and he has a twinge of anger in his heart when he discovers that Yuji is pitying him. Sukuna says, are you pitying me? Is this your way of showing compassion? We see Yuji turn his eyes towards Sukuna and he says right on the mark, Sukuna, I can kill you. Release Fushiguro, return to my body, and I will spare your life. Come on, Yuji, give me that new face, man. Come on, man, get that man, bro. Huh? What'd I tell you, man? What I tell you, man? Huh? Yuji, I've been telling you to stay on this man's neck for months, almost a calendar year. When you first showed up with Higuruma, I said, Yuji, show this man what you are made of. Show this man what you can do, bro. Huh? You looked that man dead in his eyes. You looked that man dead in his face. You said, I can kill you right now. I am showing you mercy. Release him. Oh my God. I don't want to hear shit. about, oh, Yuji's not the main character in this series, Gojo's the main character. I don't want to hear shit. Huh? I ain't trying to hear that. Oh my god. Oh my, I've been waiting on this here. And Sukuna says, such a grave and severe misconception. I won't simply stop mincing you to bits right in front of your eyes. I will slaughter each and every human being you claim to be oh so valuable. And I don't know what this is. I have never seen Gege draw in this style, but the rage that Sukuna feels, you could just feel it oozing through the page, man. Oh my god. It's funny because even when Gojo literally knocked Sukuna out and did all this with the domain clashes and everything like that, Sukuna was never angry at Gojo. Quite the opposite. He was actually loving the fight, enjoying himself. Obviously, we have your magnificent Satoru Gojo. I will never forget you until I die, or I will never forget you as long as I live, excuse me. But Yuji, we go back to many chapters ago, I believe about 10 to 13 chapters ago, where he says, this kid is uncorruptible. He has an indomitable spirit. I cannot consume him, and it irritates me. And we see this on full display. Everyone is terrified of Sukuna. He is regarded as the strongest sorcerer of all time. Literally, he has earned this title over and over and over and over again. No other person is running the gauntlet that Sukuna is running, bro. Yo! Yes, Yuji Nation. Wagwan, baby. Let's get into it. So we start off the chapter with something very interesting. We start off the chapter with Yuji directly talking to Megumi's soul. We have not seen Megumi speak a word since about, I want to say 10 to 13 chapters ago, when Megumi actually was, crumpled on the floor inside of Sukuna's innate domain or whatever that was, and he was saying, I can't take it anymore. I don't care anymore. I want it all to stop. We have Megumi saying, I wanted to create a world where Sumiki wouldn't have to suffer any needless misfortune. Or at the very least, I want to maintain that fragile life as much as I possibly could. Eating meals we cooked out of restlessness, watching sunbeams fall into our hanged laundry, or to see that Sumiki stands side by side a person like you, Itadori, in the rays of the setting sun, that would have been true happiness to me. Again, this goes back to the idea that I have harped on again and again, where people get on Megumi for not being stronger than he is and calling him potential man and all this kind of stuff. But his goal was to make Sumiki happy. It wasn't to be the strongest. It wasn't to protect the next generation or anything like that. He literally was trying to do what he could to protect his sister. And if that's the bare minimum, that's the bare minimum. And Yuji goes on to say, early on when my grandpa first got sick with lung cancer, he was offered a rough treatment that would have come with some strong side effects. He turned it down. Maybe he thought his body was strong enough even without the treatment. Every so often I'd hear about euthanasia, but that didn't seem right. It felt like someone else's choice. I would have been able to bear it, but it must have been tough for him. Ever since coming to Jujutsu High, I've been inundated with all these awful thoughts, and when I think about if this will keep going on forever, I find myself able to empathize with my grandpa or with anyone faced with a helpless situation. So that's why I can't tell you to keep going. This is very, very interesting for two major reasons. This comes with the idea that Yuji understands that, yes, he is blessed. He is not like all these other people. He's not like a normal person. So for him, this sickness, he might have just been able to shrug it off. He might have been just seen it as a common cold or something like that. And so the idea of taking yourself out because you are in so much pain is foreign to him. But after encountering all these different people and all these different people from walks of life, Yuji comes to the conclusion that he's like, I can't tell you how to live your life. I can't make you want to do something you don't want to do. If you think you are in that much pain, if you think that you are in that much suffering and you just want it all to stop, I can't tell you any different. And this is very interesting because a lot of people have gotten on Yuji saying, oh, he should have been the one, he should have had his Todo moment with Megumi and he should have just reinforced him, he should have just snatched him up. But this is the opposite. Instead of Todo reaffirming Yuji and Todo basically telling Yuji his ideals and how he sees the world, right? Yuji is saying, you know what you're saying isn't necessarily wrong. But Yuji is going to stick by his side no matter what through all of this. He's not going to tell Megumi that he's wrong, but he's going to keep at it, trying to pry his soul from this demon as much as he possibly can, because he is a true friend through and through. As we transition to the fight, Sukuna now uses hollow wicker basket to protect himself from the effects of Yuji's domain. Sukuna says, I'd like to use Gojo's method of constantly healing one's brain to reset a burnt out technique within a domain, but the risk is too great with the after effects of unlimited void persisting. So again, Gojo proved to be probably the MVP throughout this entire fight. If Sukuna's brain literally wasn't still hemorrhaging, he probably would have reset his curse technique right now, and that world slash would just be spammed. But due to Gojo quite literally frying his brain, he can't. So the narrator goes to say, in contrast to a domain where one actualizes a mental image, the output required for techniques like Hollow Wicker Basket or Simple Domain is little. It allows a sorcerer to buy time until a sure hit technique imbued with a domain hits them, but eventually without fail, they'll be overpowered. So basically something like Simple Domain is meant to outright protect you. Hollow Wicker Basket is meant to shield you. You will still take the blunt blow of the effect of the sure hit technique, but it's going to be mitigated or just significantly reduced. Now this is actually very interesting. So we see all these little ducks and geese and these fences and everything like that. So we actually know that Sukuna and Yuji are actually in Yuji's domain at this current point. They're not in that realm between realms where, you know, they're talking to each other's souls and all that, because Yuji just did that with the Megumi. This is actually Yuji's domain. So when Yuji busts out his domain expansion, they were talking last chapter, that all was within Yuji's domain. I didn't think that. I know some people theorized it, but very interesting, very interesting. The narrator goes on to say, however, Sukuna is able to supplement that output by maintaining the hand sign even after a Hollow Wicker Basket's activation. This allows him to continue fighting without being overpowered within a domain. And Yuji and Sukuna begin to close in on each other for more hand-to-hand combat. Just that good shit that I like. Y'all know me, man. Y'all know me. Sukuna goes for a kick. Yuji blocks the kick, catches it, brings Sukuna's leg towards him. And unfortunately, Sukuna manages to get Yuji to the ground and land a devastating kick as well as a haymaker of a punch and sends Yuji flying. As Yuji is still reeling from this attack, Sukuna goes to say, who would have figured being looked down on would fill me with such ire that being pitied would? What fun will it be for every other human to reap the consequences of your actions? Sukuna's riled up. Sukuna's amped. And Sukuna's basically like, whatever I'm going to do to you, I'm going to do to every single person that you love. Listen, last week's chapter's translations, in the English translation, Sukuna said, I will tear you asunder. Listen, y'all know with John Wary, they should be charged for some domestic terrorist charges for what he's done to the JJK community. But that was fire. I can't cap. That was fire. And so we see a transition to Kid Megumi, and Kid Megumi looks up and says, what's with that face? And then Yuji says, it'll be just so lonely without you, Megumi, tearing up, almost about to cry. So Yuji, in my eyes, is fully prepared for Megumi to not help, for Megumi to just stay just down and out, but he's ready to kill Sukuna as much as he can. In my eyes, Yuji here is thinking, wow, Megumi, he's down and out. I tried my best. I talked to him. I did what I could, but Sukuna's got to go. And it makes him sad. Obviously, he's going to lose his friend. If he kills Sukuna, there's no way Megumi can come back. But then we transition to page 12, where Sukuna takes a step and steps in a shadow by accident. Sukuna says, my 10 shadows technique stopped functioning after Mahoraga was destroyed. This is Megumi Fushiguro's. His soul was submerged in the bath, and yet the brat's dismantles breathed new life into it. So with this, Megumi Fushiguro is fighting back for the first time. Well, technically the second. The first time in Shinjuku. This is technically the second time when he was lowering Sukuna's output when he first took over his body. Yuji, wasting zero time, manages to land a massive hit on Sukuna's face. And as he understands what happens, he lets out a small smile and rushes towards Sukuna. Yuji understands that the final battle is now starting, and he and Sukuna begin to trade blows. Yuji rushes in with a barrage of furious punches. Sukuna gets his footing once again, grabs Yuji by his hair, and these, man, you want to talk about boxing? Bro, this man Yuji was putting the beats on Sukuna. Oh my God! Yo, these niggas literally had each other by the head and literally just I need this animated. Come on, I'll say this every chapter discussion. Y'all listen. Come on, man. Director, I know you can hear me in Japan, brother. Listen, You make this sequel, you make Shinjuku the best season of anime I have ever seen in my probably 28 years of life. At that point, you will have my life. I will give you my soul, I promise you. And Sukuna comes to the realization that his strikes have an inescapable effect. He's going to break my hollow wicker basket. Yuji's strikes are going through the hollow wicker basket that Sukuna produced. I'm gonna be honest with you. You ask some power scalers, is probably gonna shoot Yuji like 2 tiers up, and like possibly gonna make him like right under Yuta, depending who you ask. And as Yuji breaks Sukuna's hollow wicker basket, his armor on his arms unfortunately breaks as well. And as Sukuna is leaking from his bomba, he sees that he now has his technique back. Sukuna goes to launch his domain expansion, but he looks and he sees that 2 of Yuji's fingers are missing. The scene transitions and we get to see Sukuna's finger, or Yuji's finger, strung up in a very high tower of some sort. You want to know my true feelings of Nobara coming back? I'll tell you this. If Nobara comes back to the Jujutsu Kaisen story, I will personally read, watch, and review the first arc of One Piece and put it on my channel. That is a pinky promise. If Nobara comes back to the Jujutsu Kaisen story, I will personally read, watch, and review the story of One Piece and put it on my channel. Read, watch, and review the Urahime says through a binding vow by removing the objective of destroying the cursed object and focus solely on applying the technique's effect. So basically the goal, you make a binding vow, I don't want to destroy this thing, I want to inflict it with this technique when I strike it. Maybe she can pull it off. But Urahime is concerned that it's only been a short time since she woke up. We cut to the next page. And Kugisaki Nobara is back with the eye patch. Listen, I've been on the front lines defending Gege. I've been defending this nigga's writing with my heart and soul, saying, oh, we still got the merger. Oh, Kenjaku's alive. Oh, Takuba's alive. All this stuff. I've been going. I'm his #1 soldier, right? I've been arguing back and forth with Yume for like the past month. He says Jujutsu Kaisen sucks. Starface says it sucks. Trigger says it sucks. And I still love Jujutsu Kaisen. I said we got a lot left in the tank. There's too much to cover. So then I get the announcement that we have 5 chapters left. And then Gege knew. He knew. How could he do? He brings Nobara back after I said in May that if she comes back to the story, I will watch the first arc of One Piece. He knew. How could he do this to me? How could he do this? Oh my. I want One Piece. But yes, Kugisaki Nobara is now back in the fight in her own splash page, and she slams Sukuna's finger with a resonance. Sukuna's body begins to convulse as the spears from the resonance protrude from his body. It's actually even worse because we gotta remember he was still trying to keep his heart going artificially, and we gotta remember his heart was still very damaged from when Maki stabbed it with the soul-splitting katana. So his heart was not 100% when this happened to him. Sukuna realizes that it's Nobara's cursed technique, and he says, this is that woman's technique. This is bad. My cursed technique, I can't open my domain. At this rate, this kid's sure hit effect will hit me. We see Yuji in tears as he realizes that Nobara is still alive, and we have Nobara saying, how is that for Opapi, you idiot? Now, if you don't remember, when Yuji faked them out with his death, he came out of the box and said, Opapi, you know what I mean? And she says the same line. Obviously, they're not talking to each other. But yes, this is a fantastic moment for Yuji, man. Yuji, without wasting a single moment, gets right back to the hands and starts hitting Sukuna with soul dismantles. Now, if you don't remember, Yuji was actually using cleave beforehand when his technique originally arose, but now we know that his domain sure hit effect is a soul dismantle. So Yuji does not necessarily have to get within range with his technique. He can actually dissect a soul without putting his hands on him. Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck? Yuji's top 5. I don't want to hear it. I don't care enough. I don't care. Yuji's top 5. He's top 5 in the series. I don't fucking care, man. So keeping up the momentum, Yuji goes up to bro. He go back to the hands, man. I can't. I'm gonna miss Jujutsu Kaisen, man. But I'm glad they're ending on a high note. This man Yuji come up to Sukuna straight, knee that nigga in his face, and Sukuna ends up getting hit so hard he ends up puking out some fingers. But he's not done yet. He's not done yet. Sukuna starts talking some shit. He says, "Did you really think you could peel me off with your makeshift domain?" Sukuna even thinks that Yuji has surpassed his limits for a while, as he's not even healing his injuries with reverse curse technique. And since domains cost a lot of curse energy, it's over for Yuji, and so he thinks. Sukuna goes for another rush on Yuji. Yuji manages to parry, and he hits Sukuna with a second. Oh my god, this nigga fell for the oldest trick in the book. Yuji parries and hits Sukuna with a divergent fist. Yuji squats down, puts his hand in his palm, and he says, "Let's put an end to this ever-cycling curse." Sukuna. Woo! Hey, y'all know the words that happen after this. I need you to say it with me now. Come on. Get a little closer to the mic. Get a little closer to the screen, man. Huh? Come here. No, a little closer than that. A little closer than that, right? We on 3. We gonna say it. 1, 2, 3. Kusan! Oh my god! Oh, it's over. Oh man. And with that, it's looking like the Sukuna fight is over. Yo, Yuji had my dear and glorious liege looking fucking crazy in this shot. Oh my god. Nigga look like he straight boo-booed on himself, bro. Holy shit. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Death, leader of Sukuna Nation. And y'all, as your commander-in-chief, it has been my paramount honor and paramount pleasure to serve you all on the front line for the past calendar year. To each and every single member of Sukuna Nation, I wish you and bid you all farewell. Oh God, I'll miss you, baby boy. I won't ever forget you. You're still my favorite. Yes, everybody, we are back with some more Jujutsu. Ow, my fucking nipple. Ow. Kaisen content. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with a chapter review. I am late. I don't want to hear it. Listen, I've been grinding out videos for y'all for the past I don't know how many days. So allow me to, kind of relax on Leak Night and enjoy it with the rest of you guys. I seem to be the only one enjoying it, apparently. Now, shortly after this video comes out, I will have a rant going over the entire fallout of this resuming chapter. So, but for this video, I want to just focus mainly on the content of today's chapter 268. And if you follow me on Twitter or you follow me on, the community posts or anything like that, you guys would know that I actually like this chapter, as unpopular of an opinion as that currently is at this time. And before we dive into today's chapter discussion, please make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe on the video. It really helps me out, helps the algorithm, helps me keep making more videos for you guys, because I like it. I like you guys a lot. You guys are funny. I love my fans. I love my fans. I do. I like you guys a lot. I do. Also, dog, whenever I catch y'all that are actually making fan art of me, and I catch you in real life, it's not gonna be funny. I'm gonna tie you up. I'm gonna hang you by your nuts. So when we start off this chapter, we have Sukuna talking to Megumi's soul directly, and he says, how do you intend to keep living with that disgrace? You've killed your sister, you've killed your own sensei, all these lives are on your hands. He's saying, give it up, give it all to me, there's no point anymore. And Megumi actually offers a retort, and he says, why do you sound so desperate? Now, for those that are familiar with Demon Slayer, and very big spoilers for the Demon Slayer ending, if you don't want to hear this, skip about 10 to 15 seconds into this video. I'll probably put a timestamp below. But Muzan does a very similar thing when he's inside Tanjiro's body, and he basically is just like, all these people, they don't care about you, all of these things, they mean nothing to you, give it to me. Muzan says basically the same thing that Sukuna says here. Now, when Tanjiro encounters this, he says, no, you're a liar. Tanjiro reaches out to all the loved ones, all these people that he's touched and affected in his life, but Megumi actually has something different. He's saying that, no, you are in fear of your own death. It actually makes me happy to know that there is at least something that scares you. And we actually have a very big character moment for Megumi where he says, there are more people in the world than there are of oneself. And he says, I think I'll try living for someone else once more. Now, yes, because all this stuff was going on when Sukuna hijacked his body and everything, he was so defeated, he was tired. Again, he sat in that evil bath for months on end. His soul was just constantly getting beaten down by all these horrors and everything and all these external factors. So for him to acknowledge his own selfishness and to be like, you know what, I'm over it. I'm done with it. This is how I want to live my life anymore. Seeing this change in Megumi, I like it a lot, man. I do. This hits for me, honestly. And we have this almost dwarf in the flask-esque sequence happening to Sukuna. And this straight up feels like an acknowledgement to Full Metal Alchemist with how Envy was portrayed before Envy died. We'll talk about it in just a second here. But we see like this essence of Sukuna begin to get smaller and shrink smaller and smaller. It just almost looks like but he's in pain. And then on the page where Megumi says, I think I'll try living for someone else for once, it's almost completely gone. And then we see Yuji knock Megumi out of his domain expansion with the armaments of Sukuna leaving him. We see the belly tongue begin to close up. We see the arms begin to fly off and break away. And then before Sukuna is fully expelled, he attempts to once more attach to Megumi's body, looking like some sort of a goop. If you guys remember, actually, I said some months ago, I forget which video, I think I said that multiple videos at this point, but I always thought that before Sukuna would die, he would look like some sort of eldritch horror or just some disgusting monstrosity, because when he bit Hana, he had that look of like, he had like a fish head, or just like his head was just completely deformed. So we knew he could change his form, besides obviously having the 2 extra arms, the 2 extra eyes, blah, 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 and the mask. But here, he just looks absolutely disgusting. He actually looks like a curse. And as it begins to break off away because of Nobara's resonance and Yuji fully expelling him from his body, we see Sukuna on the ground, gasping for air. And he looks up to see Yuji standing over him. Now, if you remember, many chapters ago, near the beginning of the series, when Sukuna and Yuji are having a little petty argument, and Sukuna's like, oh, don't look up at me, it makes you look ugly, or whatever he said. And Yuji's like, okay, so come down here so I can look down on you. Very nice callback. I like it, man. I do. It's very interesting to see that, people hate seeing Sukuna like this. And like, I guess people thought that I would hate it too, but it's very fitting. There is something that I would absolutely hate if Gege did, but he did not do it. But I'll talk about that in just a second here. But seeing Sukuna as ugly as he is on the inside, now on the outside, is very, very cool. I like it a lot. Seeing a strong character get defeated does not make them weak. I don't know where this mindset came within the shonen community, man. They did this with Aizen, they did this with Madara, they did this with All For One. Like, dude, I meme on All For One turning into a baby because he turned himself into a baby. But seeing a character as strong as Sukuna, number one, in the verse, you cannot argue otherwise, number one, get reduced to this is cathartic. And as Sukuna begins to slowly burn away, Yuji picks up the remaining ounces of his flesh, and he says, Sukuna, you are me. And Yuji says, unknowingly burdened with a curse from birth, what kind of monster one becomes dependent on luck? But I had my grandpa. Sukuna, let's try again. Not to curse someone, but to live with someone. Even if no one accepts you, I alone can live with. And Sukuna goes on to say, I'll commend you for maintaining this act up to this point. Yuji Itadori, don't look down on me. I am still a curse. And so Nobara asks him, hey, what'd you do with that thing? And Yuji says, oh, I tossed it. And they say, what? And then Yuji says, it'll be fine. Not like it's anything dangerous anymore. It should be the perfect talisman now. And then Fushiguro is like, oh, dude, come on. Like, we need to get rid of this thing. And Yuji says, it's all good, while he's looking at his 2 missing fingers. Yuji looks up at the sky, preparing for the future ahead of him. And we actually transition to Mahito talking to Sukuna in the afterlife, or in this realm between the afterlife and the living. Just like how Jogo was talking to Sukuna. And Mahito says, "Hey Sukuna, who'd have thought I'd see you here?" Sukuna laughs and he says, well, he said, "What's this, our second interaction?" Mahito says, "My technique messes with the soul after all. Consider this a vestige. Welcome to the pathway souls walk on their way down the cycle." Mahito says, "You were lying, weren't you? To yourself and to others. You weren't living according to your own stature. You wanted revenge against those who resented and persecuted that cursed, unwanted little wretch." And Sukuna says, "What's the difference? Living the only way I know how, that's how I choose to go on." So Mahito's saying, you lied. You don't live for your own appeasement. You live because you want to take revenge, because you were hurt. Hurt people, hurt people. You've heard that saying before. And Sukuna says, "It doesn't really matter either way. I just did what I wanted to do." Sukuna looks up and he says, "Actually, no. I did have different paths to walk. 2 to be precise. And yet I couldn't help but spit out the curses stirring deep within my viscera. I feared my own curse would immolate me." Sukuna puts his hand on a young crying Ryomen and he says, "If there is to be a next time, perhaps it would be nice to try a different path." Mahito says, "What's that so boring? You've gone so soft, asshole. What's the deal?" And Sukuna says, "Naturally. I lost after all." Mahito says, "So what? I'm the only one sulking like a child." And then Mahito proceeds to throw a tantrum. And this is the last we ever see of Ryomen Sukuna. Man, when I first saw this, and even now, man, I'm getting a little teary-eyed. This is a fantastic conclusion to my GOAT, Ryomen Sukuna. Now, as to who this woman that Sukuna is referring to, this could be a lover that he possibly had in the past, but what I think it possibly could be his mother. I think it could possibly be maybe something that his mother, maybe some dreams or something like that his mother wished for him. Maybe his mother didn't mean for him to turn out how he did. It could be something like that, but Sukuna chooses to take on the path of actually thinking to himself, what if, and it is a very far if, what if I actually took on more of a nurturing role? He puts his hand on a younger Ryomen's shoulder and he's thinking, and I'm not saying Sukuna wants to be a parent or anything like this, but that's the kind of light that we're being shown here. But Sukuna is just thinking to himself, he's like, you know what? Instead of being consumed by this revenge and all this, what if I do switch it up? Do you know what this tells me? That Yuji's words, that Yuji's domain expansion actually did have an effect. That he actually, after being enraged and all this, he thought about it and he said, you know what? Maybe this kid's right. He may not acknowledge outright that Yuji was right, but Yuji relating to him, Yuji telling him about all these different experiences that Yuji had growing up, having, you know, doing archery, hanging out at the arcade, hanging out with his grandpa, all this stuff. Sukuna didn't have that. He didn't. He was forced to be the strongest because that's all he knew. He wanted to get revenge. He was hungry. He was cursed. He was spat upon. So he thinks to himself, maybe I don't outright want that, but I want to try something different. Maybe this isn't it all my life has to be. Sukuna, when he talked to Yuji many chapters ago, but it was a chapter, I believe 248 or 245, whenever he's talking to Yuji and he says, people have a different flavor whenever they are devoured. And that's an adequate time to pass till my death. But we see here that he doesn't feel that way. He finds a different flavor. That's what he finds when he's walking into the afterlife. This is a... Ooh, Gege, that pen was on. Ooh, that pen was working. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gege, I commend you. This is an absolutely fantastic conclusion to my GOAT, Ryomen Sukuna. And people were surprised. They're like, oh, Sukuna didn't have he didn't want to get back at Yuji, didn't have a contingency plan or anything like that. No, Sukuna, when it comes to being defeated, he outright told Yorozu, if on God's green earth you manage to beat me, hey, you get to do whatever you want because I lost. Sukuna's not a sore loser like that. He's gonna try his best to win. But when it comes to being a sore loser with Yuji, that's different. That's different. But anybody else, he's like, you know what? No, I lost. Power is the only thing that Sukuna sees, so if there's something that's stronger than him or he failed to meet up to his own standards, that's just how it is. Fantastic bookend to Sukuna's character here. I love the little throwback to Mahito, man. I love him showing back up, man. And so with this, we see Yuta, Maki, Panda, Inumaki. A little cute moment, actually. Yuta and Maki both have the same sword sheath. That's very cool. We see Kirara, Akari. We see Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara off on their next adventure. And then we turn the page to see the Sukuna finger locked and hidden away, just like how it was in the very first chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. And that'll do it. Man, I feel like such a dummy for making that first video I did, because and I'm generally seeing a lot of opinions turn around on this chapter. This is great. This is great. I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me and say that, oh, this ending was rushed and and there are definitely some elements that I think could have been done better. Absolutely. But the emotions that rush into me when I see Sukuna's conclusion, when I see Gojo talking with Yuji and he's like, kid, I want you to live your life. Gojo has wanted to protect these kids from Jump. He's threatened these Jujutsu higher-ups. He says, if you interfere with their futures, I will kill you. I will side with them no matter what. And he ended up acting on it. Seeing Yuji being able to actually live out his life with people that love him is absolutely fantastic. This is what I wanted, and I would have loved to see his grandfather's reaction. Maybe not like a JoJo, see his grandfather in the sky moment or anything like that, but I think that this is very well done. What I wanted to see Kenjaku interact with Yuji, past chapter 136. Oh yeah, absolutely. But man, I love it. I love Jujutsu Kaisen throughout all its shortcomings, throughout all the hype fire moments. And don't ever let anybody tell you Jujutsu Kaisen was bad. They got 100 million copies in circulation, one of the top selling mangas of all time. Ain't nothing trash about it, I'm gonna tell you. But this manga is so special to me, man. I absolutely love it. Wow, man. I mean, obviously this is not gonna be the end of Jujutsu Kaisen content on my channel. No, I don't think so. But man, this story is over, and I'm sad, man. I truly am. This series means so much to me. This series is how I met so many of you, and the series is how my channel, got at least a little tiny bit of traction. I owe this series a lot, man. Dude, the 5 years that are about to pass by, man, I'm sad, because obviously we're gonna get Gojo vs Sukuna as a movie. I don't have any information on that. This is a theory, because it's gonna make a shit ton of money. And then we also have season 4 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which will presumably be the last. But whew, what a ride it's been. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Jujutsu Kaisen, the fights, the hype, the characters. There's something for everybody in this manga all over the place. Even if you do think that the writing's on the wall sometimes, and you think that there are some things that haven't been seeded, there's definitely something for everybody in this manga, man. I'm so serious. My man Yuji, he really had that Goku arc, that Deku arc, that Naruto arc. His arc was flat for the kind of. He has moments with Mahito where he talked about his worldview and everything like that. But the fact that Yuji actually managed to get through to Sukuna and actually got him to feel something, the king of curses on his way into the afterlife, forgoes his title as a curse and actually chooses, if he gets another chance to live as a human, that's big. That's big. Fire, man. Yeah, there's people that actually were upset there wasn't really like a huge fight or anything in this chapter. I don't know what the fuck y'all expected, to be honest with you. People are saying, oh, this is a Disney Channel ending. Dude. Most series that you watch are a Disney Channel ending. The protagonist doesn't have to die. Even when protagonists die in series, it's still a very happy ending. There's still a resolution to it. Look at most media. Not the endings are sad or shit or anything like that. It's not. Attack on Titan, as dark as that is, even though the main character died, most people lived. I say most people, most of the cast lived. You know what I mean? Also, this is incredibly disrespectful. There are people out there that are actually thanking Maya Mora, a thief, for this Japanese comic book, instead of thanking the actual author for which they are reading his content. That is fucking crazy. That's a next level of disrespect. Listen, I know I'm not that much better than Maya because I'm making reviews on leaks and stuff like that. I understand that, the pot calling the kettle black, I get it. But I wouldn't want you guys thanking me for going over Jujutsu Kaisen and all that. Thank the author, thank Gege. We have nothing to do with it. Absolutely, that's so wild and disrespectful, man. Oh my God. But I don't want to end this video on a bad note, man. Let me know what you guys think about this ending to Jujutsu Kaisen. I've been seeing a lot of people say this with the full context of this dude, if my computer doesn't shut the fuck up, dude, stop. I've been seeing that a lot of people, this changes their opinion in their, everything that's happened. But yeah, I'm gonna miss this series, man. I am. If Gege decides to have another crack at it, or you know, his health improves vastly and he decides to do another weekly series, I'll be here for it. Seriously, I will be. This is his first series. This is his first outing as a, you know, a record holder on the Shonen Jump lineup. So he made some mistakes along the way, most definitely, absolutely. But there were so many more good quality moments that I definitely feel like this show, this series is in my top 10, top 3, easy, top 3 series, easy. Season 4 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I apologize for the person I will become at that point, because I will be hyped and screaming along with y'all week to week. I don't give a fuck, man. I'm wilding out at fan animations. When I get that official product by that Mappa sweatshop, it's gonna be hot fire. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think, man. It's me, your boy Daffy, guys. Thank you guys so much for reading and discussing Jujutsu Kaisen with me, man. We're still gonna talk about some things and thematic elements in Jujutsu Kaisen. But yeah, it's me, your boy Daffy, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. Please make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Please make sure you take care of yourselves, guys, and have a good one. Peace.